Eastern State Penitentiary is a real place in Philadelphia. From the outside, it does not look like a normal prison. It looks like a fortress. Stone walls, guard towers, iron gates, and narrow windows staring back from the dark. But the strange part is not only how it looks. The strange part is what it was built to do. This is not a legend invented around an empty building. The prison exists, the records exist, the design exists. Eastern State opened in 1829, and at the time, the idea behind it was considered revolutionary. The goal was not just punishment. The goal was penitence. The word penitentiary comes from the idea of penitence, reflection, regret. A person alone with their own thoughts. At Eastern State, that idea became architecture. Prisoners were separated from each other. They lived alone. They ate alone. They worked alone. And for long stretches, silence became part of the sentence. Even exercise was separated. Each cell had its own small yard. High walls blocked the view. Heavy doors blocked contact. The building was designed to control movement, sound, and human connection. Every detail told the prisoner the same thing. You are alone here. From above, Eastern State was built like a wheel. Cell blocks stretched from a central point like spokes. The design was efficient. It was controlled. It looked almost logical. But that is what makes the place so unsettling. The fear was not accidental. The building was a machine. Eastern State was designed by architect John Haviland. It was one of the most ambitious prison projects of its time, and its design influenced prisons far beyond Philadelphia. That matters because this was not just one dark building. It was a model, a real experiment in how isolation could be used on human beings. Walk the corridors now, and the system is still visible. Rows of doors, narrow walkways, cells stacked with silence. Paint hangs from the walls like skin. Light cuts through broken windows. And every hallway seems to lead deeper into the same question. What did this place do to the people inside it? The original idea was reform. But isolation does not stay simple. What begins as silence can become pressure. What begins as reflection can become collapse. And that is why Eastern State feels heavier than a normal ruin. The building was not only abandoned, it was designed around psychological weight. Eastern State also held names that made the prison famous. Al Capone was incarcerated here in 1929. Willie Sutton was also held here. Those names turned the prison into more than architecture. They made it part of American crime history. But the building never needed famous inmates to feel disturbing. There were escape attempts. There were tunnels. There were decades of overcrowding and change. By the 20th century, the original system had already broken down. The prison kept operating. But the dream of perfect separate confinement could not survive the reality of the place. Eastern State closed in 1971. After that, the prison entered a different kind of silence. No prisoners, no guards, no daily routine. Just walls, cells, and time. Parts of the building decayed. Plants grew where people used to walk. The ruin became its own version of the story. That is when the atmosphere changed again. A prison built for silence became an empty ruin. And empty ruins collect stories. Visitors reported sounds, footsteps, whispers, shadows. The kind of details that are easy to dismiss until the building itself starts to feel like part of the witness. This is The Location Files, Episode 6, Eastern State Penitentiary. A real prison, a real system, a real experiment in isolation, and a building that people still describe as one of the most unsettling places in Philadelphia. The problem is separating fact from folklore. The facts are already heavy. The prison was real. The isolation system was real. The decay is real. The famous inmates were real. The reports, though, live in a different category. They are witness stories, repeated accounts, unverified experiences attached to a verified place. Maybe the sounds are ordinary. Old stone shifts. Wind moves through broken windows. Visitors hear echoes and give them meaning. Maybe the stories grew because the building makes silence feel alive. Or maybe some places hold their history differently. That is the tension in this file. Eastern State does not need a monster. It does not need a jump scare. The design is enough. The history is enough. The silence is enough. A place built to separate people from the world became a place people now enter to feel what remains. That is the problem with Eastern State Penitentiary. There are records, there is architecture, there is decay, there are reports, but there is no clean answer. Unexplained does not mean haunted. It means unfinished. And this file is still open. Next in the location files, we leave the prison and enter a hospital where the hallways became the legend.